Hi guys, my name is Zane. I'm going to be doing my presentation on sleep and how much does the quality of our sleep the night before affect our leisure activities in the day to follow. Obviously, as you know, sleep is something we do every night. You don't need to tell your body when to do it; your body just knows. And sleep has its benefits. Assuming you get the proper recommended 8 hours of sleep, you will be more alert the next day. You'll experience better mood, better daily function, and obviously the adverse happens if you don't get enough sleep. We experience like sluggishness, tiredness, and even some long-term effects have been known to be caused by sleep deprivation, such as poor cardiovascular health, and even some mental illnesses are caused by sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation comes about when we don't get our recommended, 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it is. It's different for everybody. But when we put ourselves through that constantly, we do see this demise in our health. And I want to get into one of the studies done by the Clinique du Sommeil in France, where they took people of different ages and sex, and they put them and they asked them a questionnaire where they were asked how well do they respond to activities in the morning, their daily activities, how much sleep do they get per night, and based on the results of this survey, they were put into two types, the M type or the E type, which is M type for morning and E type for evening. So, we've all heard people say, oh, I'm not a morning person, or I am a morning person, or, if you're a night owl, you function better at night. But there was a correlation found between age and the types. Younger people, this may not come to a surprise, younger people were more likely to be in the E type, whereas older people were more M type. So younger people, when they do experience this sleep debt and a lack of sleep hygiene, they see a decrease in the function of their daily activities. And obviously, for the older people, M types, people who get up earlier, people who are more alert in the mornings, do have a better percentage of being able to function in their daily lives. They're proficient in what they do, etc., etc. Another study that I want to get into was published by the European Journal of Applied Psychology, in which researchers from Spain studied Spanish adolescents and how the quality of their sleep at night affects two things. Leisure activities such as sports or any physical activity outside, and excessive TV watching. And one of the main interesting things about specifically studying the population of Spain is that on average, citizens of Spain tend to have dinner at around 9 to 10 p.m. every night, which is fairly late. And this results in an average bedtime of around 12 to 1 a.m. every single night. And it was mostly between 13 and 19-year-olds, and they were able to find another correlation between sex and the proficiency of activities done the next day. So when the participants did not get the right amount of sleep every single night, they had less of a willingness to participate in sport activities, and eventually, when they didn't, at a point, it sort of just plateaued, and they didn't do any more leisure sports, physical activities. But for men, the amount of TV watching stayed rather the same throughout, regardless of their sleep debt. But for women, especially girls aged between 15 and 17, had a bigger percentage of the time spent watching TV. That actually increased with the less sleep they got every night. And as far regardless of gender, sports and physical activity stayed the same obviously depending on how much sleep was achieved the night before. And basically, I wanted to just make sort of a point. This is kind of, you might have thought it is obvious, but it does. Sleep does, the quality of our sleep and how much sleep we get the night before does, in fact, have an impact on our daily lives and our daily function, particularly with leisure activities. In the case of sports physical activities, it was negatively impacted by the amount of sleep got each night, especially in cases of sleep deprivation. But TV, which doesn't require much physical activity, isn't as dependent on the amount of sleep. And I want to leave this with a discussion question. If you guys want to write this in the discussion boards, in what ways have you personally experienced your sleep quality affecting your daily lives, your leisure activities, what you do in everyday life? Do you get good sleep, and do you see an increase in the improvement of how well you do things, or do you see a reverse? Like, what do you see? Let me know. Tell me your experience in the comments section down below. Thank you guys, and have a good night.